Today's movie is Wishmaster 3, Beyond the Gates of Hell. And now the producers were all set to have Andrew DeVoff return in the role of the djinn, and he even wrote a script about the djinn coming back during Y2K. Like, it wouldn't have been anything earth-shattering, but it would have been 1,000 times better than what we got. But the studio thought that his script was too ambitious, so he bounced, and the studio then proceeded to film Wishmaster 3 and 4 back-to-back over the course of 16 days. We are, not off to a good start. The hero of Wishmaster 3 is Diana Collins, who's a grad student that is plagued by nightmares of the day her parents died.
He's a king.
And like, that's gotta be half their budget right there. Like, for both films. Like, if I was making Wishmaster 3 and I just blew up a Ford Taurus station wagon with about 100 pounds of C4, I'd be like, oh shit, we have no more money and we've only filmed 40 seconds of this movie. And also, it's no wonder they got in an accident, because her dad takes his eyes off the road for just a ridiculous amount of time. I mean, he's not even driving on a straightaway. He's driving around a curve completely blind. If I sneeze more than 3 times in a row while I'm driving, I feel like I'm gonna drive off a cliff. And I live in a valley. And helping Diana along the way is her gaggle of Wishmaster fodder.
Are you psychic? Your best friend, same thing.
Okay, you've got her best friend, Katie.
For my new psych paper.
On foot fetishes.
Now, new subject. Ready? Sex in public places. Is it hotter? What do you think?
Think I want a new boyfriend?
Oh, you don't.
Katie's Mimbo boyfriend.
You know, Diana, you should be careful. Boys who don't get the attention they need tend to look elsewhere for it.
Her sexual rival.
See you in the museum.
5:30.
And her insecure dingus boyfriend, Greg. And Diana is a teacher's assistant for Professor Barash, who is known to have sex with his students. And Barash invites her to help him at the museum after hours to set up a new exhibit of antiquities on loan from Iran. And Greg is not happy.
He's letting me help for the first time. I can't pass this up.
I'm losing out to a geek boy professor.
And act like a man! What's the matter with you?
So Diana sets off, and we get to watch her incredible journey. And the editing in this movie is just top shelf. And now I'll admit the editing on this channel does suck shit. But in my defense, I have a budget of negative $10,000. And honestly, most of the time, mistakes happen because I'm rushing. Kind of like what happens when you make 2 movies in 16 days. While Diana's waiting for the professor, she finds the easiest puzzle box ever invented and discovers the fire opal inside and unleashes a djinn, not the djinn. This is a completely different and considerably lower budget djinn than the first 2 movies. Like, we could just call him the Jim. And even though she unleashed this hell beast, he just doesn't show up. And Barash gets there and she tells him about the puzzle box.
I think this is a case for celebration. I'll pop open a vintage Chardonnay.
I don't think my boyfriend would understand.
Appreciate the insinuation, Diana.
Oh no, Diana. This professor who is known for sleeping with students just wants to get one of his students drunk in a closed museum, and you're making it into something sinister. Diana leaves, and then the djinn finally shows up.
Where's my Wicca?
She woke you like a half hour ago. You would have caught her if you weren't apparently busy greasing yourself up. You know, the other guy was prompt. Man, I miss the original Wishmaster already. This one kind of looks like Howie Mandel from Little Monsters, and actually Maurice from Little Monsters freaks me out more. So the djinn demands to know where the person who woke him is, says that if the professor doesn't tell him, he's going to expose the professor for raping his students.
It's all right, sweetheart. It's all right.
Please don't. No.
Anyone believe you? Refuse me again and the world will know, my good professor.
I'll go on the news and make those moaning sounds again. I'll do it, because I not only look stupid, I may actually be stupid. And Barash says it'll help, and the djinn tells him to make a wish. So he wishes that the 2 women that he finds the most beautiful in the world would be in love with him. And so then 2 random women show up and begin making out with him, and then they just kill him. Where the hell's the irony, new guy? And then the djinn puts Barash's face on and becomes him and takes off. That is standard across the board. That is the only thing that is the same for all these movies. And so back in the communal workspace in a Best Western lobby, Diana has a vision of Barash getting killed, and so she runs back to the museum.
What the hell am I doing wrong?
And act like a man! What's the matter with you?
And we then see her going down these stairs to get to the museum workroom, when before we saw her go up these stairs to get to that same area. Again, just the kind of attention to detail you would expect from a movie that was made in the time it takes to get approved for unemployment benefits. She doesn't find Barash, but she finds his journal. And oh my god, don't touch shit. Don't touch unknown substances. Like, what's the best case scenario here? Ketchup? Then you have ketchup on your hands. It's so stupid. And so we then catch up with this guy. Oh, this dude's always up to something.
Katie, come out wherever you are.
I'd help you, but I don't remember who Katie is. Honestly, had no idea who you are. He finds Katie, I think, and then they go have sex in the study of a billionaire that hunts humans on his private island. We then get to the best part of any Wishmaster movie, when we see the main character find just a shitload of information about the djinn using early 2000s internet. Oh man, Netscape? We were cavemen.
The box was discovered in a secret chamber. The box appears to be Persian in origin and dates back to the 12th century.
I'll come back later.
Oh man, Greg can't handle this much research.
The inscription on the box warns that it holds the secret stone of fire.
God, he's struggling. He has zero idea what to do with this information.
It's like an evil Aladdin's lamp or Pandora's box, you know?
Yep, Greg has completely left his body. It's like Kazam's boombox. Oh, righteous.
I saw Barash clear as day in his office being murdered.
God, Diana, I can't even remember the last time you saw me get murdered in your head movies. If you love the professor, I'll just step aside.
Any idiot can see that something's wrong.
Any idiot, Diana? The djinn goes to the administration building to get the file on Diana, but the secretary refuses to give it to him.
I wish this whole mountain of files would go up in flames so I could get the hell out of here.
And so he just lit her on fire. Like, where's the craft? Where's the zest for your job? You didn't even light the files on fire, which would then get out of control, trapping her in the office, and the only way out of here would be for her to jump out the window to her death. Again, maybe they would have thought of something better if they would have filmed this over a longer time period than it takes to complete a juice cleanse. So the all-powerful djinn was bested by Gert Coughlin, and now he has to go old school with boots on the ground style by just asking other students if they've seen Diana. You made a lawyer literally himself, and you can't find a student on campus. And now the djinn, posing as Barash, is teaching about the Trojan War, and he alludes to the fact that Helen of Troy encountered a djinn, and she wished for every man to love her, which in turn caused the war. You know, the face that launched 1,000 ships. And it's actually, surprisingly, a pretty neat idea, especially for this movie, and it really showcases the djinn's true power. However, in the very next movie, you know, the one that they filmed right after this, they basically show that making someone love someone else is outside the djinn's power. Just baller writing and continuity. And Diana tries to convince her friends that the djinn has taken over Barash's body, and they agree to help her research the djinn, even though they don't really believe her.
Have you read any Greek myths? Like this one, Medea? There's some seriously twisted shit in here.
Nipples and everything.
That is twisted as shit. Then the djinn finally gets the brilliant idea to look for Diana at her dorm. It took him like a day and a half to figure this out.
Is she back?
Room 432.
That way.
Sign in here, please. Excuse me, if you're not part of the dorm, you have to sign in.
And the director discovers that it's really difficult to film a movie in an echoey space. And you know they filmed this all in one take, and then later were like, it's fine. Diana, Greg, and Katie see Barash, and they all take off, but Greg tries to stop him.
You okay?
Diana was right about Barash.
What the hell are you talking about?
All that crazy shit that Diana was talking about is true.
What? Where the hell is Billy?
I don't know.
Wait, so Katie still didn't believe that Barash was the djinn? Why the hell was she frantically running away? Was she just running away from a professor? Also, if I'm Katie, the fact that Greg now believes in a genie is not the spark I would need to believe in this completely. Because I'm sure Greg has fallen for no fewer than 6 Ponzi schemes. The production then decided to film a scene in the spookiest graveyard that Manitoba has to offer.
It was a dark and stormy night. Oh my God, I've got chills already. Alice was walking home from a friend's house, and she took a shortcut through a graveyard. Oh my, that's so scary. When suddenly, from behind a scary tombstone, there appeared a ghost. It was such a spooky ghost, just the spookiest ghost you ever did see.
Stephen King was right.
Sorry.
Ghost.
That's my line.
With how rushed this production was, I 100% believe that this was the actor telling her that she messed up her lines, and then they just left it in. They run to a church, but the djinn is there waiting for them.
You can't kill us if we don't make a wish.
Did you get that from one of your textbooks?
No, it was on a GeoCities page.
Oh, Anne!
Sorry, Diana. I'm the professor's TA now.
And like, this is so funny because Anne isn't all smug because she's now the lieutenant for an all-powerful djinn. She's cocky because she now has to be an assistant to a college professor. And was she just waiting in the wings of this church to make her grand entrance? It's like 1 a.m. What the hell does Anne think is going on?
Anne's already made her wish.
Professor?
She wants to lose a little weight.
Way to dream big, Anne.
Like you're a little Ann hog, okay? Don't be such an Ann hog.
And so, of course, Anne begins losing weight by puking. Finally, we're getting a little bit of irony. Oh my God, that is not pleasant. So Diana reluctantly makes her first wish to stop Anne's pain, which the djinn grants by killing her. For Diana's second wish, she invokes the spirit of Saint Michael the Archangel to help stop the djinn. Which, okay, an angel fighting a demon, that could be cool. But instead of having a badass angel fighting, the spirit of Saint Michael just goes into Greg because it costs way too much money to hire a 10th actor for your movie. So Greg gets a sword and the djinn finally ditches the professor's body, and we get a very lightly coordinated fight sequence. They definitely learned all this at Carl Weathers' stage fighting workshop.
Lindsay, he's teaching me all these valuable life lessons.
I buy all my cars at police auction.
He's full of stuff like that.
And then they just run off. Like, you're an angel warrior. Why are you running?
Greg dead?
I sense him somewhere.
I can just barely make out the sound of calliope music and someone clapping and saying yay. Oh, now he's humming the theme from Step by Step. Yep, Greg is still in there.
Can he hear me?
I don't know.
Because now he's blaring Mbop by Hanson, so he probably can't hear much. And Michael tells Diana that only the Waker can destroy the djinn, and when she is worthy, she will have the Sword of Justice at her disposal. And just then, the djinn finds this guy. Haha, this guy, my dude. Finds him in a ski lodge from the 80s, where a young woman once learned what passion truly meant in the arms of her ski instructor.
What is your wish?
Blow me.
Oh no. Yeah, it could have been worse. It could have been way worse. Okay, let's see how his girlfriend handles the djinn. And again, she seems to 100% believe that he is an evil genie. Like he's a pretty easy villain to get past. Do not make a wish.
Christ, I wish there was somewhere to hide.
She said that unprompted too. Now, Wishmaster 3, upon hearing her wish for a place to hide, does this.
Nobody will find you in there, Mike.
Yeah, they will. It's cage is see-through, bud, and just her head is in there. Also, Diana found her almost immediately. What a dumb Wishmaster.
This is your fault.
What did you do to her?
Nothing she didn't wish for.
Oh, terribly sorry. I meant to say nothing she wished for. So Diana and Gregory Michael, which sounds like the name of a really rich kid who knows every state's age of consent laws, take off, and the djinn pulls a Martin Riggs and jumps on their car. They manage to knock the djinn off and crash their car when... Seriously? Another car explosion? I'm starting to see why Wishmaster 4 turned out as shitty as it did. They just had zero money left. Like, this movie could have had 0 car explosions, and they could have spent that money on an actual script. The djinn chases him to the roof of a nearby building, and he demands Diana make her final wish. But she realizes that if the Waker dies before the final wish, then the djinn loses, but the djinn catches her. Gregory Michael then throws her the sword, and she stabs the djinn, and he falls to the ground and disappears. Like, that's it. The first 2 Wishmaster movies had the protagonist making a carefully crafted final wish that managed to trick the djinn and save the day, but the makers of this movie are just like, magic sword. And you know what? I'm just gonna spoil the end of Wishmaster 4. They kill the djinn in that one by stabbing him with the same magic sword again. God, these movies suck so much. Like, I take back every joke I made about the first 2 Wishmaster movies. I didn't know how good I had it at the time.
Centrifugal force has me pinned.
I think you mean centripetal force? You absolute dogshit dope. Oh my god, he was right, it is centrifugal. Oh no, the internet's gonna see that.
G.I. Joe will return after these messages.
Hey, Billy, did you catch the game last night? Yeah, it was awesome. My mom let me stay up late to watch it. That's cool. Hey, do you want to come over to my house tonight and play Nintendo? Sure, that sounds like... Hold on there, kids. What? I'm Jefferson Allen Clutchman, but my friends call me Jeff. Oh, hi, Jeff. No, not Jeff. I mean Clutch. My name's Clutch. Oh, okay. Hi, Clutch. My mom calls me Jeff, and my friends call me Clutch. Now listen up, kids. You don't want to go smoking cigarettes. What? We weren't gonna smoke. It's bad for you. Mister, we don't know what you're talking about. And another thing, playing with a loaded gun is just a recipe for disaster. We weren't gonna... Oh my God. I just realized it's getting dark and you're strangers. Get away from me, strangers. Dude, you came up to us. I need an adult. What? G.I. Joe!